Hello and welcome back. It is Wednesday, the 7th of January 2026, and we have got a nice little job to do. It is after 5 o'clock now. As you can see from outside the dining room window, the day job is finished, but the work isn't finished. Now, what we have got to do today is we are installing a roller blind in the kitchen. This is the roller blind, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. There are probably 100 other ways that people do it, but I thought I would show you how I do it, what tools I use, just so that you know what to need when you do it yourself. So first of all, you're going to need some step ladders, unless you are super tall and you can reach where you need to go. A level, ideally one that's wider than the blind that you're fitting if you can. You're going to need your impact bit set. You're going to need 4 screws, 4 wall plugs, your SDS drill bit for fitting the plugs, an SDS drill and your impact drill. And if I take you into the kitchen, this is where we are going to be fitting that blind. As you can see, it's really ugly because it hasn't been trimmed around yet, and we're very close to the cupboard there. So what we'll have to do is put our first one directly above that and hope that it fits in this space. But I'll show you how I do it. Let me get the blind out of the packaging and set up. Right, so the way that I do it is I take the blind out of the packaging. I put the 2 brackets, one on each end, just slide them in. I then put a tape measure in line with the first one all the way over to the second one. So as you can see, that is about 114 centimeters. And that's how far apart we want our brackets. So now what I will do is I will take that tape measure. We will go into the kitchen, which is much nice and brighter, and let me set that up there. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we have 114 centimeters here, which we do, but it's kind of bang on in the center of this opening. Okay, so what I will do now is I will get the ladders in, and we need to go half of 114, so that's 57. We will measure the width of this opening, mark the center here, so if you can see that up here. We will mark the center here of this opening, and then we will measure 57 centimeters out one way, 57 centimeters out the other way, and that will be where we put our brackets. So let me do a bit of marking and I will show you how we got on. Right, so here we are at the top of the window. Obviously this one is a little bit more difficult than normal because we've got this cupboard that literally sits on the edge of this bit here. So I've marked it at the top there, and I've measured 100 under the level, 114 centimeters there, which goes just bang on where the opening is. Now, if I put a level right on the bottom of the coving, you can see it's a little bit out, whereby if I lower it down about 5 millimeters, it's perfectly level. So what we'll do, sorry, one-handed, really difficult. We'll get our brackets and we'll put one there, one there. So the mark is on the outside of this bracket. And then when we come along and do this one, we will just bring that one down about 5 millimeters, so it should be level, pretty close enough. And then we will mark the holes with a pencil, drill them, tap in our raw plugs, and then attach the brackets. Right, so as you can see, I've marked my 2 holes for drilling now, and on the right hand side I've marked the 2 holes for drilling now. We will now get the drill bit that we need for this, we are using a 6mm drill bit for the red plugs. Drill these 4 holes, tap in our wall plugs, and then fix the brackets on. So as you can see, we have drilled the 4 holes. These ones are about 5mm lower. We will literally get our red plugs. If you drilled the right size hole, these should push back in just with your hand. You shouldn't need to hammer them. Again, this isn't supporting anything heavy. This is purely supporting a blind. Now, use your impact gun. Can't do this one-handed. We are going to drill the 4 screws into the brackets. Now, as you can see, we've screwed the 2 screws in now. What you will see is one end has a circle hole and this one has a cross hole. What we will do is we will see that in a second, and I will show you the easy way to line them up, because maybe not so much on a short one, but on a long one they can be a real pain in the backside. Right, so here is the blind. As you can see, this end, it has a sort of a hook. This is what goes in the cross hole, and then this one is just a push one. So what we're going to do is lift this up. This is going to be a pain one-handed, but what we want to do is we want to get that one lined up so it goes into the hole. Sorry, as you can see, so pull it out, it literally goes into the hole and slots down. And then when we come across to this side, all we will have to do is, you can see that that is sprung loaded, we'll push it in. That's it. You fitted your blind. Now you just can take your masking tape off of here, which is keeping it rolled up, which I find is easier to fit it while it's rolled up. And again, here there's an elastic band on here. But yeah, let me undo that because that's a pain one-handed, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the blind fitted. We've got the up and down cable on the right hand side, which is easiest. And what you'll find with some of these blinds is, so for instance, this is let's move that around there. This is a blackout blind. So even though it's got this nice grey on the inside, on the other side is white. And if you don't want to see this white inside your house, a little tip is to roll it out the whole way, which hopefully is not going to take forever, and then roll it up the opposite way. And just like that. Now all you can see is the grey. And that is a blind installed. You might find that it starts to gather a little bit more at this side. So all you need to do the first time you do it is just keep sliding it central. But yeah, really happy with how this has turned out. Let's step back so you can see it. Just gives us a little bit more privacy in the kitchen at night when you're middle of the night, when you need a glass of water and you can't be bothered to get dressed. At least we can come down and grab a glass of water and we haven't got to worry about it. But thank you. That is the first 7 days of January in the bag. Loads more to come. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Goodbye.